Hello and welcome, I'm Nguyen, your news anchor for today. Let's dive right into the headline as usual.
Vietnam seeks UK's assistance in building financial centers. Party chief hails US firms as key to stronger ties. Prime Minister, Vietnam expects balanced, harmonious, sustainable economic ties with US. Vietnam Airlines expands flight frequency on Hanoi-Manila route. Nguyen aims to become premier destination in Asia-Pacific for tourists.
As part of his visit, the Deputy Prime Minister and former British Prime Minister Tony Blair co-chaired a roundtable on attracting FDI into Vietnam, which brought together nearly 20 leading UK businesses. The Vietnamese official remarked that Vietnam's FDI strategy prioritizes corporate social responsibility and environmental protection, aiming for sustainable development and based on win-win cooperation for mutual development. Vietnam plans to focus on high-tech and innovation-driven projects, financial technology and digital economy, as well as green and sustainable development. The Deputy Prime Minister also met with former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, who currently serves as Executive Chairman of the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change. He expressed his hope Blair and the Institute would continue offering policy advice to Vietnam. Blair affirmed that both he himself and the Institute will continue to provide comprehensive support and work closely with Vietnamese authorities in establishing and operating the financial centers, as well as in other key economic activities. On the same day, the Vietnamese official met with the UK's Financial Secretary to the Treasury Lord Livermore to discuss key bilateral economic, trade, and investment cooperation. The Deputy Prime Minister affirmed that the UK is a vital strategic partner for Vietnam and that Vietnam wants for the UK's greater support and experience sharing, particularly in promoting policies and attracting British investors. Livermore highlighted the strong potential for collaboration, especially in renewable energy and offshore wind power development, where the UK has significant expertise. Also on March 17, Binh had separate meetings with Vincent Keaveney, Deputy Mayor of the City of London, and Saif Malik, CEO of Standard Chartered Bank, with Keaveney affirming the City of London's commitment to supporting Vietnam in developing its financial centers. Binh proposed it share its expertise in financial center development and directly assist Vietnam in training the workforce. Meanwhile, Malik confirmed that Standard Chartered plans to expand its cooperation and investment in Vietnam, particularly in emerging sectors such as green economy and circular economy. Party General Secretary To Lam on March 18 praised the U.S. business community, particularly the U.S.-ASEAN Business Council, for its practical contributions to Vietnam-U.S. cooperation in trade and investment, during a reception in Hanoi for a council delegation led by its president and CEO Ted Osius, former U.S. ambassador to Vietnam. The Vietnamese leader voiced Vietnam's desire to further strengthen the comprehensive strategic partnership with the U.S., fostering stable economic and trade ties. He urged the Council to continue supporting ASEAN's unity, cooperation, development and prosperity, touting the region as a dynamic and promising market full of opportunities for U.S. enterprises. He suggested the U.S. enterprises ramp up their investments in key sectors like emerging technologies, digital economy, green transition, renewable energy, and logistics, aligning U.S. strengths with Vietnam's needs. Osius and corporate representatives reiterated their dedication to the development of Vietnam-U.S. relations, crediting the Vietnamese leadership's close attention and guidance. They believed that the strategic vision of the Party General Secretary and other Vietnamese leaders would steer the country toward its development goals.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh pushed for balanced, harmonious, and sustainable economic and trade ties with the U.S. during a working session in Hanoi on March 18th with a delegation from the U.S. ASEAN Business Council and nearly 60 major U.S. corporations. He expressed hope for the U.S.'s expanded presence in the country, especially in such key sectors such as energy, high technology, semiconductor, and artificial intelligence. The guests praised the Vietnamese government, particularly Prime Minh Chinh, for actively tackling challenges faced by foreign investors, including those from the U.S. They wished for faster administrative reforms, legal stability, and incentives to boost strategic projects aligning U.S. expertise with Vietnam's needs. In reply, the leader encouraged U.S. firms to bridge business communities, leverage dialogue mechanisms between the government and businesses, and host regular networking events. He also pushed for opportunities to integrate Vietnamese companies into U.S. global supply chains, positioning Vietnam as the U.S.'s key production and business hub in Southeast Asia. The host suggested collaboration in sci-tech and innovation, including tech transfers and workforce training support. He also advocated for partnerships in modern digital infrastructure, 5G commercialization, 6G research, and tech transfers for medical equipment, pharmaceuticals, and vaccines.
Vietnam Airlines has announced an increase in the frequency of flights on the Hanoi-Manila route, effective April 1, to accommodate the growing travel demand between Vietnam and the Philippines. The airline will enhance its service from 3 flights per week to daily flights. Specifically, the national carrier will increase its frequency of flights on the Hanoi-Manila route from 3 flights a week to 7. The carrier will also be adjusting the frequency to 4 flights a week, flying on Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays between Ho Chi Minh City and Manila. With these updates, the total number of flights between Vietnam and the Philippines will rise to 11 flights per week, improving connectivity and supporting travel and trade between the two nations.
The recently approved master planning scheme for Nguyen National Tourist Area in the south-central province of Binh Thuan is set to transform it into an internationally recognized tourism hub, positioning it as a top destination in the Asia-Pacific by 2050. The plan envisions developing Nguyen into a global tourism center, fueling economic growth and boosting the competitiveness of tourism in both Binh Thuan province and Vietnam. With modern, sustainable infrastructure at its core, the plan prioritizes green spaces, cleanliness, and the preservation of the region's cultural, historical, and natural landmarks. The development will strike a balance between tourism expansion and urban growth, with a focus on beach resorts, water sports, and tourism linked to the iconic sand dunes. The plan also emphasizes preserving Cham culture, coastal community traditions, and local festivals. By 2030, the population of the Nguyen National Tourist Area is projected to reach 200,000, requiring approximately 9,909 hectares of land, including 1,773 hectares for tourism services and 41,000 hotel rooms. The master planning scheme also outlines land use strategies, infrastructure development, and priority investment projects to ensure smooth implementation of this ambitious vision.